So I'm going to follow through a few of the concepts. Seb has already covered a lot of deep dive stuff into declarative agents and MCP servers in general. But I will just recap because I love to do analogy-based explanation for things. So for M365 is the UI for AI. And if it's an operating system, declarative agents is like apps installed on the OS. So I love explaining like this because it makes easier for new people who are joining the call. If you've already been following the series for declarative agent, you can just skip. But declarative agents are purpose built, so you have a specific domain knowledge being fed into declarative agents. You have scopes, you have information, etc. And you don't have to worry about orchestration because that's already done by Microsoft. So you declare what the agent does, and then Copilot handles everything. And then when you talk about the technical aspect of what a declarative agent is, it's a bunch of JSON files. So you probably saw Seb show those files like plugin manifest, you have declarative agent file, you have the Teams package file that is a manifest and a couple of icons. You don't need a custom backend for declarative agents, but you can connect to your code, etc. You can scope it to knowledge, tasks, the directive, okay, what personality you want for agent, etc. But it's run inside Microsoft 365's orchestration engine. Now, quickly onto the features. Again, it's scoped. It's got zero orchestration code. You can plug actions. For example, you can have APIs connected using API plugins, MCP server, SharePoint, etc. You can have conversation starters added to it for adoption. You can ground it with knowledge, with SharePoint, OneDrive, etc. And you also have M365 tenant security already applied to your agent, which I think it's amazing. Cool. So once that's done, we'll talk about MCP servers because we're here to talk about MCP servers plus the rich UI. But in declarative agents terms, it is an action. So you can add MCP server as an action, and MCP is Model Context Protocol. It's a standard for exposing tools to AI models. So if you're working across different AI models, MCP might be the right choice for you. You can just wrap up your API as an MCP server and start using with your AI models. And inside this MCP server, you'll have tools. You can see here in the manifest file screenshot, you have functions. These are tools that you can invoke, and you can add one or many tools as you need for your agent to be super focused and laser focused on what it has to do. You will provide the URL to your MCP. You also have auth support. You have OAuth 2.0 and SSO currently with declarative agents, and MCP servers that run on remote, that is the HTTP streamable ones, are now in declarative agents. So moving on, the problem, right? So we saw earlier in the demo as well, when you talk to an agent that's connected to an MCP server, great, it brings back information, but it brings back in plain text and sometimes an adaptive card as well. But it makes more impact when you actually show. For example, in this screen, you have on the right side a map showing information. You can directly get more insights when you see things visually. These days, everybody's into visuals, everybody's into videos. So reading a bunch of text is taking a backseat slowly. But having that vision, having that UI aspect, also taking action within these widgets also makes a lot of difference. It makes it easier for folks to find out. It's not like recreating your website directly into an agent, but it's also like, okay, I need to find this information, but if I can act right there, then I need buttons and sortings and filters, etc. So you can bring all that right into your widget, which is great because that makes life so much more easier. So that is why we have the concept of UI widgets, although adaptive cards do the same thing, but we have more control as developers when you have a React-based widget behind the scenes in your MCP server where you can make calls back and forth, format, you can update the code, everything. You have more control as a developer, if you know what I mean. So what are they? They are UI-based MCP servers. So when you're building MCP servers, think about the design patterns. Okay, think about what can be a UI, a widget that can help users get up to speed with whatever workflow they're in. You also, like I said, it's bi-directional. So you write a query into Copilot chat, you get a call, a tool being called automatically by your agent, right? You saw the bunch of functions that it has. But imagine even these widgets can call tools. So they can call a tool and then do the functions, etc. So it's bi-directional. And some real world scenarios we have is like sales dashboard, approval workflows, editable forms, preview of tickets, etc. Now, earlier this month, we announced OpenAI app SDK based agents, declarative agents now available in Copilot. We're also going to be having MCP apps pretty soon available in Copilot, which is great news because these are all, the world is getting smaller and smaller because now you can build stuff that works with ChatGPT or works with Cloud Code, all and Copilot right here. So as a developer, this is expanding the things that you could do, which is great. And you have these examples of some of these samples. You can see here visuals. You can see field ops assist, which is a great sample. And I will talk to you about where you can find these samples so you can get the patterns of building something like this. And that's why I said, we should have more of these demos when we will be planning that, having at least one sample being showcased a month. So let's hope we find those lots. More inspiration, and let's jump into the demo. I'm just going to stop sharing because I'll just keep my video off. Okay, the problems with having just one screen. This is something I'm learning now. Okay, so I already have this declarative agent ready. So I've used Agents Toolkit, M365 Agents Toolkit to build this, and I will show you in a few minutes how to do that. But as you can see here, in this declarative agent, if you go to the plugin, you have something called, so this is the remote server, and this is the MCP tool. So I have all the tools information in this file. And when you come, these are all functions. They are the schema, all this information for each of the functions. But if you scroll down, and this sample is also available, and I will talk to you about all these samples that you can go ahead and try out. If you come down, there's something called meta, and you'll see that we have few entries of the widgets. So they are HTML based, but you can create React and then generate the HTML out of it. And these widgets will be showcased as a response instead of plain text or adaptive card. So this is how it works behind the scenes. And in your package, you'd basically have just pointers. Now, you could get these information as well if you're using the Model Context Protocol Inspector. If you run your MCP server there, you would also find the same information coming back from the tool list. So yeah, these are the new entries. And for MCP apps in future, it will have a different kind of entry. This is specifically OpenAI that works in ChatGPT. The good thing about MCP apps, it works both in ChatGPT and in Cloud Code. And that's something we will also explore together in the upcoming sessions. So let me go ahead and show you the demo. So if you are familiar with our contents, especially from Copilot Camp, you probably already know about Trey Research. But if not, here's a quick recap of what this is. It's a fictitious company. What we do here is we have to manage consultants, assign consultants to new projects. So it's a HR consulting company. And right now, what's happening here is, as a person from the consulting resource, I have a new project that's come up, and I need to assign consultants who have JavaScript skill. Now, as a person who would traditionally do things through their website, you would go to the website, search for project, and you would find the project information, and you'd figure out, or you have to read through and figure out, oh, you need JavaScript consultants. And then you go to the consultants page, search for consultants with skill with JavaScript, and then you figure out, oh, who's free, and then you have to go to a form, you have to fill out the form to assign these consultants to the project, etc., etc. So now at least minimum of 15 clicks in 2 forms have to be updated as a person. So let's see how we are making it a lot more easier with MCP server in a declarative agent with an MCP server that has UI. So I'm going to go ahead and ask for the project details. And it will go ahead and call the tools that's necessary to get the information of the project. Now, I'll see that you have the UI popping up in the screen, which is, okay, it's like a dashboard. It gets all this information in, etc. And I know this is the project, but the good thing is I can also expand this and show it in a better way. So I have the full screen of whatever is shown to me. I have all this information. I can just go ahead and ask for, okay, now show me, there is nobody assigned to this project yet. So show me consultants with JavaScript skill. And then it will go ahead and pick all the consultants because it's got a tool that it calls and bring all the consultants that's available who have skills with JavaScript. And this is like a bulk editor. I could just go ahead and add things like I need this person to have maybe a role of a senior lead or something like that. I can do it right here. So if it's something I need to update, I can do that. But for now, I want to know more about Mr. Puranik. So I'm just going to ask, okay, show me more details. Okay. Oh, sorry. Not that. So that's another query I'm going to do. So show me more details of, oh, thank you for that. See, I've rehearsed my demo, so you know that by now. Cool. So it will go ahead and show more details of my consultant here. I can look into the active projects. I can see the forecast. I can see the hours delivered, all this information. And this could be different views for you. So I'm now confident that this person is perfect for our project. And he could probably be the project lead since he's not assigned to any project yet. And now I'm going to paste this to assign Avery and Sanjay to this project as developers, and I'm going to put the billing hours as well. So I'm doing all right here in like a few seconds. Obviously, this is a 15 minutes demo altogether, and probably I took like 3 minutes for the entire thing. And this otherwise would have been a person sitting and opening up multiple tabs and searching and adding and going ahead and putting forms, etc. While I am doing all this in natural language. Okay, Copilot has come back saying that, okay, these are the information, I'm going to do it, confirm, which is great news because whenever you see like a confirmation button from Copilot, know that your app is working. This is one of the tricks. So I now have added, and I could go ahead and ask the dashboard for this particular project, which is what it suggested back to me. And you would see it refresh and bring back the dashboard if everything is working. Okay, great. So it has 2 consultants now, 2 assignments. It has put all the information of the billing. It has 2 consultant information, all this right here. So few minutes and all this was done because, you know, again, I have gone ahead and done all this, but I was also able to see this. I was able to work within Copilot and do actions, etc. So this is the benefit of having an MCP server that is also tuned into rich UI widgets. And let me just take you through what you need to do next. So what we have done also silently is drop a bunch of samples. So if you see the first link, mcp.ms/mcp-ui-samples, these are samples available both in OpenAI SDK-based MCP servers as well as MCP apps-based. So you'll be able to test the OpenAI one right away, but you would have to wait for a bit more time. I think Tikam, our principal product manager for this feature is already in this call, so he probably might be able to get this and more information on when MCP apps will be dropped, but it will be soon. So this is a great place for you to explore all these samples. We will try and get some of these sample demos also into these community calls. We're working on that, but Field Service Dispatch is a great app if you want to go ahead and try out the maps and stuff like that. We already saw Trey Research, and there are much more which we will be adding. You can also go into the docs, DA-UI-widgets-docs, and read all about what's happening and how you can do this, etc. But to be very honest with you, I will tell you a trick on what I do as a developer. So you can start with a declarative agent, and I know Seb is running an 8-week series, which is already continuing, which is a great video series that you have to follow in the community channel, so you can learn from scratch what declarative agents are. We also have Copilot Developer Camp, where there are self-paced labs for declarative agents. My colleagues Paolo and Aicha, we all authored these labs, so you can go ahead and try out. We have labs for basic declarative agent, we have API plugin, we have MCP server, we have OAuth for MCP server, all these labs, and I'll tell you about the new upcoming ones as well. But you start with a declarative agent. Think about the REST APIs that you have, or you can build from scratch, maybe a couple of routes, and then expose them as MCP tools. Then go for designing widget first, UI widgets. The ones that I've shown you today, they're based on Fluent UI React components. Build them up using the patterns. So you go to these samples, you get if you're using coding agents, it works great if you give a pattern using samples. So go to these samples, give your coding agent one of the MCP server samples, and just refer to how they've built these UI widgets, or you could do it yourself as well. And then give us feedback, test these samples, give us feedback, share the pain points and or even the success stories. So this is probably the route I would take as a developer starting now. We would also be launching soon a new lab for MCP apps in Copilot, which will be step-by-step process of how you can do a declarative agent with MCP and your rich UI widgets. So stay tuned, aka.ms/Copilot DevCamp. We're also running a lot of awards and badges and things like that. Exciting stuff. And that's all for today from my side. Hope that was informative.